Hello, everyone. Welcome to United and Everything Football. We are back once again. My name is Kwame, and I'm here with Kwame Nchukwuesi. I could join by our stream Sichufe, Philip Sichu, as we normally call him. He has many nicknames. Sue. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome once again. And United were in action over the weekend against Everton. And we saw something spectacular. I mean, you don't get to see it often. I mean, the moment. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. No wonder his idol is Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, the guy copies. The guy virtually copies everything Cristiano Ronaldo. Alejandro
expression.
I mean, everything. I once saw his boxer shorts and it was CR7. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
He wears everything.
Yes. He's obsessed.
Even the boots. I mean, that's what you get to do when you like such a player. So, guys, remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, join us every single time we are on so that you can be notified anytime we release a new episode on United and Everything Football. We discuss very interesting topics on Manchester United and everything football. So, it's not always that we discuss United. Sometimes everything football comes in. So your rival clubs and other people will all featured on this beautiful podcast. So we'll be back right after this to discuss everything United. Okay, guys, thank you so much and welcome back to United and Everything Football. Over the weekend, United played against Everton. We saw two major things that really caught our eyes. That beautiful goal by Alejandro Garnacho, and then the young Ghanaian British. I'll start. The young Ghanaian. Let me stress that. Ghanaian British or Ghanaian English. Kobbie Mainoo, 18-year-old, holding that midfield for Manchester United. Let me start with you, Philip. I don't know. Are you starting with Mainoo or Garnacho? Whichever way you would want to go, it's fine.
Surely, I've got to start with Garnacho. I absolutely have to start with Garnacho. But yeah, I think. Listen, Garnacho's goal will probably go down for me as the best bicycle kick I've seen since I started watching the game. Really, because the cross is in behind him. He has to backpedal, take 5 steps back. And in the process, still keep an eye on the ball, get his body up, and align himself in a perfect way that he can connect with the ball superbly, and get the ball on target into the top corner where a goalkeeper as good as Pickford can't reach. And for a young player like that to have the confidence to try something like that, I think. Listen, the moment was not the biggest moment. It's not against a Liverpool, a Man City like Rooney's, or it's not in a Champions League final like Gary Bale's. It's not in a high-stake game like Juventus when Ronaldo scored his. So maybe that takes something little from the prestige of the goal. But in terms of the execution, listen, I don't think there are many better bicycle kicks than what Garnacho has done. And he himself might never, for the rest of his life, score a better goal than that. Hopefully he does for his sake. But that goal was right out of the top draw. And the most important thing about that goal for the whole club, Man United, was the tied into Kobbie Mainoo was because of Everton's ban, the fans came out in protest. The atmosphere was charged. The place was electrifying. And you had a feeling that Everton players were going to ride on that wave to cause United the problems. Mm-hmm. So for United to have gone into the lead inside the first 5 minutes and straight away shut Goodison down or shut them up was a magnificent way to start the game. And to start the game with that goal, that banger, to shush the Goodison crowd was the best possible way to start the game. But Kobbie Mainoo, listen, we saw glimpses of him in the preseason. Those were just glimpses. But if you're a United fan, you would have seen him before preseason because he's highly rated from his youth days. He's been well spoken of. The FA, he's just a brilliant footballer when you watch him play. But for a player who has not played the whole season for the team A or the first team, gone away from the team with a terrible injury, get back to fitness, play a couple of games with the youth side, and come into a ground like Goodison, when United generally is not playing well, and many players around him might not be playing well, and puts in an individual shift as he did, the calmness about him, the composure about him, the more important thing, the decision making with him, because he knows when to drive through bodies, and he knows which feet to receive the ball with, just so that he's avoiding the press, to give himself the opportunity of getting on the half turn.
Yeah.
And surely he understands which pass takes the team forward if he picks it.
Yeah.
And for a young player like him to have all of these, this ability to process these things, I think his debut was brilliant. Yeah, there were a few things he can pick on. When he was on the ball, he was good. But as a team around McTominay and Bruno, they didn't maybe hold the midfield well. But when you pick his individual outputs, his positioning, his ability on the ball, listen, you couldn't have asked for much from a player who's playing his first Premier League game at the Goodison. Fantastic.
Kwame, you've been smiling. I mean,
Viva Nacho. Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. That was something else. See, I think he scored 6 goals and then had 6 assists in his debut season last season. This season, the plan is clearly for him to kick on. Eric Ten Hag said it during the preseason that it's time for him. Even when he signed a new contract at the tail end of last season, that it's time for him to kick on. He's a special talent. He's not ordinary. He's special. He's proven that he's special. I think what this goal will do for him is he already has an aura about him, but then it will just up that a notch, that he would feel like, you know what, I can achieve everything now. He's scoring important goals for Manchester United. He's starting for Manchester United. And the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
As for Kobbie Mainoo, you can actually see the value in, I'm going to bring this up, in why Eric Ten Hag wanted a player like Frankie de Jong. I'm not saying he's the same player, but if you look at his attributes, his decision-making in that deep lying role, it's not necessarily to destroy. It's more like to control the tempo of the football game. He gets the ball. He knows how to go on a half turn, in which direction he has to be in. He knows when to, slow the pace of the game down. He drifts past players easily. He can, and he has a pass.
For me, it's the body. He has this body swerve. I mean, before you could
exactly,
you could just make it like. I think this guy.
It's Frankie de Jong like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Akata got that body swerve to just move players. He did one to Abdoulaye Doucouré in that midfield. The guy was like, hey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Probably continue.
And you could tell we're missing that kind of midfield. You see, all our midfielders are more like crafty, and then they run a lot, and then, but then they don't show so much composure on the football in the middle of the park. That's why we sometimes struggle to control games. But he's somebody who, it seems like the game slows down when he has the ball at his feet. He controls the tempo of the football game. See, bigger challenges are going to come. Let's not just, get too excited. But then when you look at what his potential is at the age of 18, you compare it to other young and upcoming players in other clubs over the years. We can even go all the way back to the likes of Fabregas, all the way to now, the likes of Jude Bellingham. When you see a talent like that showcase what he has shown in his very first start for the football club, this boy has got something about him. If he continues to put in these performances, very soon he's going to play for
Three Lions.
Already, imagine if he keeps it up, he might just be at the Euros. But if he plays the next half of the season, he might be at the
Jordan
Euros.
Henderson, playing in Saudi Arabia, there's so much pressure on
Calvin Phillips isn't
playing enough.
He's not playing. Yeah. So imagine this: a midfield of Kobbie Mainoo with games under his belt, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
I mean, compare that to a midfield of Thomas Partey,
Mohamed
Oh guys. All right.
But those two players are the future of this football club.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had so many players come through the academy. We're known for that. Yeah. We want to develop players, youth courage success. We want to bring players through our academy who make it into the first team. Yeah. And we have two on our books right now who are exceptional talents. The sky is the limit for both.
All right, the sky is the limit for both. All right, guys, so let's look quickly at our Champions League and our hopes. It's been a disaster so far. Lost in a dramatic fashion against Bayern Munich. Another dramatic loss against Galatasaray. A crafty win against Copenhagen. A dramatic loss against Copenhagen in Denmark. Another baptism of fire awaiting us in Galatasaray. A stadium where they've named it, or there's a big theme that says that welcome to hell. Is United going to do it tomorrow to keep the hopes of the Champions League alive tomorrow? I'm not confident. Let me be honest. I am not confident because I've still not seen the personality that I would love to see in United games. And especially going away to on such grounds, I'm not very confident. But Situ, let me get to you. In Turkey, Istanbul, tomorrow, Manchester United.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you. I'm not very confident that United goes to Turkey and gets a win there, because the most difficult team in the group is Bayern Munich. And in both fixtures, when Bayern played Galatasaray, in both fixtures, I thought Bayern didn't even find it very comfortable playing against them. Even at the Allianz Arena, it was after the 80th minute that Bayern Munich got those little pockets of spaces to fashion out those chances and score. But the first leg in the nickname Stadium Hell, when Coman got the lead for Bayern and Icardi equalized, it was a very balanced game. In fact, they were exposed in that game that Galatasaray looked at the better team. But Bayern is Bayern. When they just flip their gears, they could destroy everybody, and they did that to destroy them. The problem of going with Man United is I'm not too sure if we are able to, when the going gets tough, and we are in the game against Copenhagen is a clear example that do we have enough characters in that side to actually come together and then dig in deep and fight when the going is getting tough, when the team needs bodies around to get a job done. And that is what I just think the team lacks a little. If you're going to play against Galatasaray, that is what the team needs the more, because the atmosphere will be hostile and the players will ride on that atmosphere. It's the more reason why I'm not too confident United can get a job done there. When you look at Galatasaray as well, after the Bayern defeat, they've also lost a game, coming into this one. But the more recent game they played, they won. So they would also be on the high, and they know that is probably the best time to play against a Man United team that is still facing character crisis in terms of personalities who are very hard and strong and can dig in deep and get the results. Is the only reason why I think maybe United will struggle. When it comes to individual qualities, who can turn the pace of the game, can pop up with some magic. That is why I think if United are going to get something from this game, they will need to count on them. A Bruno Fernandes special, a Marcus Rashford out of nothing. Højlund is back in training. He's been Mr. Champions League for the club. So a Højlund on the day, and maybe a Kobe Mainu, something that Galatasaray wouldn't be expecting. That changes how United plays. Otherwise, I'm not confident.
Kwame, Rashford won't be in the game because of the red card he picked up.
Yes.
He picked up in Denmark. How confident are you? How not confident are you? I mean, on the balance of everything that we've gone through in the Champions League, there are games that we should have won. A lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there were clear tests of character. I mean, the game against Galatasaray, the game in our Old Trafford, and also a game against Copenhagen, even at Bayern. I mean, what's the make of everything? Yeah.
It's win or go home.
Yeah.
That's the stage that we are now. It's win or go home. If we don't win tomorrow, we're out of the Champions League. So I think we're going to lay it all out there. We're just going to give our last, our everything, and see where it takes us. Galatasaray haven't won a game at home in the competition yet. I think they They came back from 2-0 down in their first game against Copenhagen.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I think they lost to Bayern. Obviously, they lost to Bayern. So they would be looking for their first home win as well. And I think they do know that if they don't win this game, they are going to Copenhagen with their backs against the wall. So it's a must win. They are also under pressure. Let's look at it both ways. They're also under pressure, but then we are the big club, so the most of the pressure is actually on us. I just feel, just go there and then give it everything and live with the results, basically. So I'm not gonna say I'm not too confident, but I just feel like we are riding on a certain wave right now. It's a positive wave. Let's just go in there, just give out everything, and then if you're out of the Champions League, I mean, if you're out of the Champions League, it aids our domestic cause anyway. If we do progress from the Champions League, it also does boost us confidence-wise to go like, you know what, we beat Galatasaray, we beat Bayern Munich, and we're out of the group, and then we look forward to the knockout stages next year.
All right, okay, so that's it. So we'll be awaiting what happens, the dynamics within the group. We'll win, we'll be on 6 points, hoping that Bayern beats Copenhagen or gets any kind of results against Copenhagen.
Yeah, that puts us second, actually.
Second,
if we do win,
then
it puts us second.
Second.
Yeah.
Then we go into the final game against Bayern, which would then be a do or die game, because Bayern wouldn't have a lot.
I mean, Bayern would have qualified by then. They'll probably roll out their second
Bayern, they are the most. Bayern are the most greedy team I've seen on earth.
They don't care.
They are greedy.
Let me just talk about the math a little bit. Let me just deal with the math. If we do get 6 points and Bayern do beat Copenhagen, right? What happens is that Copenhagen would be on 4 points. No, is it 4 points?
Yes, 4
points.
Yeah,
we also would be on 6 points, right?
Yes.
If, assuming we play Bayern Munich and our best outcome is a draw, we get 7 points.
Yeah.
If Copenhagen do beat Galatasaray at home, they would also be on 7 points.
Yeah.
But then it comes down to the head-to-head.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, head-to-head. And the head-to-head against them is 4-4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
4-4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we scored 3 goals away from home.
Yes. Okay.
So even if both teams are on 7 points, we still go through second place.
Wow. That's very interesting. Well, let's see. The first thing, go to hell.
First thing first, yeah.
Finish the devil. The devil should finish the devil there. And then we come back to Old Trafford. We can think of whatever happens right after that. But right after going to hell, we are going to the St. James. Another very difficult ground lately. We lost 2-0 there last season. They beat us already at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup. Some sort of a revenge game for them. It gives them no trophy, but they beat us at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup. We are going to St. James to play Newcastle in the league. Let's look at it. Newcastle have also been something this season. Like, it looks like they are there. It looks like they falter. They've also had their own fair share of injuries, losing quite a number of players. Tonali has been banned because of betting issues. So clearly, they also have their issues. But there is one thing that is certain. At the St. James, they are unstoppable. Are we going there to get something out of that game? Citro, let me start with you.
I think the Galatasaray game is a dress rehearsal for what is going to happen at the St. James's. Both atmospheres are going to be charged. And when you play against Newcastle at St. James's Park, they make you look like you're not fit. And that's what happened in the game against Chelsea. They made Chelsea look like they were not fit. They made Chelsea look like they had not trained, because they will suffocate you with that high level of energy when they press, and how many willing runners they've got in the side. And again, it comes down to Man United's character. If they are able to withstand such an atmosphere. So, like I've said, if they go to Galatasaray and get a result and put in a shift that everybody can look at the team and say, wow, that was some fight by Man United that we've not seen the whole season. That could be something that they carry into the Newcastle game. But if they go to Galatasaray and they capitulate there, and it doesn't look good on the result, and the performance doesn't look good, I think maybe then it gives Newcastle more confidence, give the fans more confidence to be as loud as they can be, and maybe that trend continues from the Galatasaray game. So I think the Galatasaray game in itself could be the catapult to get United to achieve something favorable at St. James's, but it ain't gonna be easy.
Right, both games certainly not easy, but Newcastle, a very, very difficult team to play at the St. James. They have this energy, and they have this thing, fans, having a go at you.
People are celebrating. Journalism will clear a ball, a hopeless player.
And it is charged. It's so charged. It gets them going. And if you're not careful and they score one, and then the energy gets into them before you see they've scored you like 4. That's that. They just ride on that.
We need another Garnacho moment where
silence them.
If they can start early, maybe, just maybe.
Perhaps. Wakwame, let's get to you.
I am more confident about us getting a result in Turkey tomorrow than I am. You should have asked me, are you confident about us getting a result? And I would have told you right away, no. St. James, that place feels right now like Anfield in the latter stage of a Champions League game every week.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. That the places, the Geordies have made that Newcastle I don't know. It just feels so special. It just feels so special there right now, playing there right now. They've made the place a fortress. But then I've seen teams go there. Liverpool, a very good example, go there even with 10 men, show character, and still get a win. Yes. Liverpool have gone there in back-to-back seasons and pulled out victories, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
It comes down. It's not about who has better players on the day, because as it stands, Newcastle has a raft of injuries. It comes down simply to character.
Yeah.
If we show enough character on the day, we can get something. But this Manchester United team is losing games it's supposed to lose, and winning games it's supposed to win. If you ask anybody right now what we actually honestly think would happen this weekend, we expect to lose. We expect. I don't see if we come out with the results, the title charge is on.
The title charge.
If we win at Newcastle, we're gonna win the title. That's the kind of game that you win and go like. That's the kind of game that you win. See, I expect us to lose because I don't expect this team to show enough character in such a game, a high-stakes game, and come out to the result. If indeed they do that and get a result at St. James, what stops them from going anywhere else and going to actually win? We're struggling to win games against teams the top half of the table. This is a top half of the table team. So you beat one, nothing stops you from going like, you know what, if I'm going to, I was going to go to Stamford Bridge, but Chelsea's not a top half team anymore, I'm sorry. Go to Anfield or even to City.
Yeah.
United goes, it's City, it's a derby. We could go there and do one over them.
Yeah.
You win one, you could go to Villa and expect to get a result. At a point in time, this hoodoo of not being able to beat top half teams has got to end if you're going to make any progress.
Yeah.
So it has to start with someone. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be Newcastle this weekend, but I'm not confident. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna put Kobe Manu under. Forgive me. I'm gonna put him under some pressure. But I'm thinking that that is the game for him, because with Newcastle gonna be high flying and all the intensity and running at speed, I've seen this United team lose a lot of control. And the game against Copenhagen was a clear example where, at one man down, United were still running all over the place and playing at the intensity of Copenhagen's intensity. There was nobody in that game where I was going to slow the tempo down, control the game, take a thing out of the game.
Yes.
And maybe Kobe Manu is 18 years and he's young, but at the St. James's Park, he probably is. His personality and his style is probably what could get United a bit of control when Newcastle are all over them. Take a thing out of the game and see if United can play at their own tempo. But that'll be too much of an ask for now. But I just think his character and his style could be something that United could really use.
Thank you very much, guys.
Kwame, you're always throwing questions. I'm throwing a question at you. Talk to me about Amrabat.
Hey,
Amrabat so far.
send him back to Fiorentina as quickly as possible. Send him back. Thank God we did a loan with no obligation to buy. I mean, we expected a lot.
This is why we need a top sporting director in as soon as possible, because these things shouldn't be happening.
I mean, if you observe the comments that came with Amrabat from one of the reliable guys on social media with regards to United news, Moppeteers, I think James Rhodes, he made mention that it looks like the scouting department were not convinced about Amrabat, but Ten Hag insisted on having his way because
insisted that
he's had something to do with the player before. I mean, that's exactly, if you check the trend of signing that Ten Hag will do for himself, players that he's played with, even the players that we are linked with, the likes of what's his name, the guy that it's in Italy, Bologna. I've forgotten his name. Anatovic. All of these guys are players that
Marco Anatovic,
these are players that he has something to do with, either in the Netherlands or have played football in the Netherlands before. So clearly reinforces the fact that we need a top sporting director to help make identification for him in terms of the players that he needs for him to succeed. So the Amrabat thing, we saw it coming. I mean, but we were desperate. We needed bodies. We felt there was no Casemiro cover. We felt he could do it and all of that. But clearly we are seeing the coach himself hasn't...
We pulled off another workhorse.
Exactly. The coach himself...
But I think Amrabat, right, he might not be good enough to start from. And that's the thing about Man United. Not every signing has to be good enough to start games. Amrabat might not be good enough to start games, but he surely can be good enough to be around the team as a squad player, where you are going into a cup game and you want to rest some of your big players, and Amrabat to do a job. You want to start up shop and you're throwing on Amrabat. But it's almost as if once you let them make a signing, that signing has to come into the team straight away and be a game changer. And that is why it puts a lot of pressure on some of these signings. And Amrabat might not be a good starter, but he might be a good body to have around the team.
Clearly. All right. Okay. I agree with Sicho on that. A body to have around the team, but clearly not a player that should, because from what I've seen there, thank you. Guys, we end here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting your notification bell. We'll be back same time next week. Enjoy your week and enjoy your time. Thank you, Sicho. Thank you, Kwame. Have a great time.